I want to talk to you primarily about House Bill 53 and Senate Bill 51. These bills would make radical changes in the method of the calculation of retirement for state employees. And let's not forget also that they impact some members of the teachers' retirement system, not the rank and file school teachers, but people who work in higher ed and for the Board of Regents. Sometimes we forget those people, and they are impacted similarly as would you, similarly as you would be impacted. Now, Frank mentioned something about somebody that would have 24 years and maybe not quite 55. I want to talk to you kind of anecdotally about a lady that I know about who was planning on retiring in October. Her birthday is in October. Her birthday, unfortunately for her, she was born in October of 1957. Do you know the significance of being born in October of 1957 as opposed to being born on June 30th of 1957? Had she been born on June 30th of 1957, she would not be impacted by this legislation. Unfortunately for her, she's younger than she needs to be. And she was planning a retirement. She could reach it. She could almost touch it. And the legislature is now in session attempting to change what her benefits are going to be after 24 and 1/2 years of service. It will cost her, and again, I haven't seen her paperwork because, quite frankly, the lady's too afraid to talk to me. Her husband talks to me. She's scared. That's a sad situation. She's too scared to talk to me about how much she's going to lose. Her husband says she will lose $300 a month for the rest of her life simply because she had a bad birthday. I suggest to you that you look at Article 10, Section 29B of the Louisiana Constitution. That is a constitutional article that requires the legislature to set up state employee retirement systems. And part of it says, membership in any retirement system of the state or political subdivision thereof shall be a contractual relationship between the employee and the employer, and the state shall guarantee benefits payable to a member of a state retirement system, retiree, or to his lawful beneficiary upon his death. Now, you know what? I didn't do a whole lot of research, but I found that article. And I don't know a whole lot about retirement systems, but I think I know what that means. I think I know what it means. And you have to do a whole lot of running around and talking about all kind of other things to make this not mean something. And it's plain as day. You can read it. I suggest that you find Article 10, Section 29B of the Louisiana Constitution, because if you have any protection at all, that is your protection. When does the protection of this constitutional provision start to protect state workers? Well, unfortunately, there was a Louisiana Supreme Court case several years ago, and it was a retirement and a rehire case. It wasn't, strictly speaking, a straight retirement case. And unfortunately, because of those, maybe some bad facts, I think the Supreme Court ended up with a bad interpretation and said stuff like state workers are only protected when they are vested or when they've actually retired. That's what the opinion said. Now, I believe that those words were not essential to the decision of the court. We call that dicta. That's extra words that really shouldn't count. But, so if you call that the law of the state now, that's not good for you. But that case needs to be distinguished, and we need to look, I think, at the Constitution itself. This case, again, was a rehire case, and they depended very heavily on some Rhode Island case. Well, that Rhode Island case, from what I understand, has not even been respected now in Rhode Island. Many other states have constitutional provisions which protect state employee retirement systems, and many of those states interpret those constitutions to mean that once you're a member of the system, you have contractual rights. And I think that's very logical, because from the moment they start taking your money, you have a deal. You have a deal of some kind. And read that portion again with the emphasis on membership in any retirement system of a state shall create a contractual relationship. It says membership. It didn't say when you're already retired. It didn't say when you're vested. It said when you're a member. And my belief is that you are members of the retirement system if you are contributing to that retirement system. Justice Noel, in a dissenting opinion, and of course sometimes when you cite dissenting opinions, that means you didn't like what the majority said, and I didn't like what the majority said in that other case, but she said that Article 10, Section 29B reflects a judgment by the legislature and the people of this state that retirement benefits deserve greater protection from legislative modification. And I think that statement is a true statement. I was talking with a lawyer who now actually is from Bell River, and he wrote a brilliant law review article as a young lawyer when he was at LSU Law School. And much of my thinking and rationale is based upon that very fine law review article written by a young man named Michael Conscient. Of course, Michael Conscient's in Houston, Texas now, and when I told him about what was going on here in Louisiana, he said, you know what, I'm in Houston and I don't think I'm coming back. But he did come up with this brilliant statement. He said, you know, a deal is a deal. I said, I wish I had thought of that. Well, I hadn't thought of that one. This lawyer is a lot smarter than me, and he said, you know what, a deal is a deal. And I think he's right. A deal is a deal. So, and I'm going to quote from his article. He said, public employees enjoy increased benefits, including increased protection in retirement plans in exchange for decreased pay compared to the private sector. The increased protection afforded public employees is an attempt by the people of the state of Louisiana to maintain a productive and efficient public workforce. And I think that is also a correct statement.